Tonight's Unified Bank Nailers Profile is forward Cody Sylvester, who returns to Wheeling for the first time since 2014. Cody, it's great to see you. What was the first thing that stuck out to you when you returned to Wheeling? Is something you either missed or something that was completely different than the last time around?
I would just have to say probably the dressing room. Everything, I walked in and I was expecting to see the old dressing room, but everything got changed. It looks awesome, and just seeing some familiar faces like yourself, Billy. It was great to see you guys, and we're just excited to get going. It's been a long 9 months, so we're just excited to get playing hockey again.
It's a different feel to the league this year for sure, with all the different faces that are in the league that you may not necessarily see on a yearly basis. What do you think that's going to do to the talent level? Do you think the style of play in the league is going to be a lot different than the last time you were here?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot faster pace. Every team, they're going to be stacked this year, especially with the first 12 games. We don't know what the AHL is doing, so there's a lot of good players on every team. It's going to be high tempo. And like you said, there's going to be a lot of guys in and out of the lineup. There's lots of guys sitting at home itching to get a spot on a team, so you got to show up every day and work as hard as you can to keep your spot on the team.
You guys didn't have any preseason games against an opponent, so it was just Nailers versus Nailers for 2 weeks. How jacked up are you guys to finally get a chance to see somebody that's not yourselves on the other side of the ice?
Yeah, we're really excited. It's been a long 2 weeks, but exciting 2 weeks. It was just nice to get back on the ice. Most of the guys have been off, haven't played a game for 8 to 9 months, so the 2 weeks were high tempo. We got a inter-squad game in, so it's kind of nice to get back into a little game shape. But some teams have played an exhibition game, so we are really excited to get the season rolling.
For the most of the last 6 years you played over in Europe, what did you enjoy the most about the style of play that they had over there? Did it cater to your game pretty well?
I think it did. The ice surface is obviously bigger, so you had a lot more time with the puck, a lot more space. And I consider myself a pretty speedy guy, so it kind of played into my game a little bit. And coming back here, it took me a little bit to get the smaller ice back into play, but I think it'll be fine.
You're not even 30 years old yet, and yet you've had a chance to travel the world, see some really neat places, and ultimately do what you love in playing the game of hockey. Sometimes do you take a second to kind of pinch yourself and say, wow, this is pretty neat that I've been able to do all this?
For sure, I really do. We've been blessed to be able to go and see the world and like you said, play the sport that I love. And we've definitely seen some really cool spots. And I wouldn't trade it for anything. My wife and I have, been to Rome and all over Europe. So it's been a really cool experience, but we're excited to be back in North America.
Rome, was that the number one location, and why?
It was, for me, number one. I'm not sure about my wife's number one, but for me, that was definitely number one. There's just so much history, and we spent, I think, 3 days there, and we could have spent easily a couple weeks there, and probably didn't see everything.
So you're married now, as you mentioned. That's a little bit different than the last time you were here. What's it like to be able to have somebody with you while you're playing the game and not just be a single guy on your own?
It's awesome. I mean, she's a huge support for me. If I have a bad night or bad day, it's always nice to go home and kind of just step away from hockey, and she kind of brings me up when I'm down. So it's definitely nice having her, but she actually went back this year to work in Atlanta, so we'll be kind of doing the long distance again. But we've been doing it for 5 years, so we're used to it, but hopefully that will come to an end here soon.
And she works in the medical field, right?
Yes, she does.
How much support did you feel like you were giving her this summer, especially with all of the chaos? And I'm sure that her job took some twists and turns that she wasn't expecting.
Yeah, she actually wasn't working this summer because we were over in Europe, so she had the last year and a half off, and she actually just currently got a job. But it's been chaos for the world right now, and with her being in the medical field, it's a little scary with COVID, but they're obviously well protected. So she's really excited to get back in and start helping people again.
When you look at this season as a whole, obviously everybody is very grateful to be where they are. There are a lot of teams in this league not playing. So when you kind of look at the grand picture, how fortunate do you feel to be where you are? And at the same time, what are you hoping to achieve this season on a personal level or on a team level?
Probably a personal level. Obviously, just try and put up as many points as I can and have a good year. Like you said, there's lots of guys that are fighting for a job, and we're kind of excited to be here and being able to play. So as a team aspect, obviously we want to win as many games as we can. Hopefully the season can go as long as possible and we get into playoffs. And especially with teams being out this year, there's a little smaller margin for teams to be in the playoffs. So obviously we want to win a championship.
I know the fans are excited to have you back. I'm certainly excited to have you back. Cody, I really appreciate you taking a few minutes of your time with me today, and best of luck in 2021.
Thanks, DJ. Appreciate it.
Cody Sylvester, our Nailers Unified Bank profile here tonight. We'll continue with more of our intermission report next on the Nailers Broadcast Network, presented by Main Street Bank.